The single biggest question in anti-aging I get asked is there a way I can add fat back to my face without getting injections? Because as we age, we realize the real enemy isn't just wrinkles, it's that slow deflation. The hollows under the eyes, the flattening cheeks, the lack of fullness. It's a loss of structural support that can make us look tired even when we aren't. Today, we're going to talk about a trending ingredient that claims to topically add fat, and I'll show you why it might not be the miracle you're hoping for. And then I'm going to share the actual best way to get a fuller, lifted look at home, and it has nothing to do with fat. Let's get into it. Can we actually physically add new fat cells or significantly grow existing fat pads on your face using creams at home? No, you cannot. There was a topical cream that truly grew significant amounts of fat. We'd be rubbing them all over our boobs and butts, not just the under eyes. If you have significant volume loss and you want that stuffed look, the only way to truly replace that volume is to either gain a lot of weight or in a dermatologist chair with fillers or fat transfer. However, that doesn't mean we are helpless at home. You may have heard of the ingredient called Volufiline. It's quite interesting. It essentially works by stimulating lipogenesis. It encourages your existing fat cells to soak up more lipids and swell slightly. That word slightly is really key. It's a fun booster. It can give you a subtle plumping effect to very fine lines or slight indentations. But it is not going to replace a lost cheek pad. It's like putting a little bit of air into a tire that has a slow leak. It helps, but it's not fixing the main issue. Also, if you love your Volufiline cream, no worries, I'm not saying ditch it. You can definitely keep it. But what I'm saying is you're not going to get a massive amount of plumpness that I think many of us want. I do believe that there is a better solution. My thoughts have definitely evolved on this, and I'm now convinced that the secret isn't chasing fat, it's actually building the structure that holds the fat. So I'm that type of person that when I lose weight, I lose it right here. And I always get a little nervous because I don't feel that my face is really plump already to begin with. So when I'm losing weight, I, of course, don't lose it in the areas that I really want. It goes here first. I've tried Volufiline and it's never really worked for me. It has given me a very subtle plump, but nothing like other really hydrating products can. That's just my opinion. Okay, we're gonna talk about this like a pillow. Okay, I want you to think of your face like a pillow. The fat pads are the stuffing your skin, specifically your collagen, and elastin is the pillowcase. As we age, two things happen simultaneously. We lose the stuffing, the fat shrinks, and then the pillowcase gets thin, loose, and stretched out, which is actually the collagen loss. So the result is a saggy, deflated pillow. So since we can't shove more stuffing in at home, our best bet is to shrink the pillowcase. If you have a smaller amount of stuffing, but you put it inside a super tight, thick, firm pillow, that pillow is going to look plump and lifted again. So building collagen acts as a girdle or a scaffold for your face. It compresses and lifts whatever fat you have left, stopping it from sliding down into jowls. So we know we need collagen for firmness. We get that from retinoids, vitamin C, and devices like radiofrequency, which is amazing for tightening that girdle, okay? But there is also another piece to this puzzle. Let's not forget the elasticity, which is that snapback. You can have thick skin from collagen, but if it doesn't have snap, it just hangs there thickly. So that is where copper peptides come in. I absolutely love them for this specific issue. I have done a whole video on copper peptides. Please go ahead and check those out. There's various ones. There's also ones that are affordable all the way to high end. I've given you lots of options, but I truly believe that it's very, very similar to a retinoid, where like a retinoid, I think you have to have it in a pro-aging routine. Same with copper peptides. Like you need to have copper peptides. But we're going to talk about a little minor contraindication just to keep in mind as well. First, though, I want to get a little sciencey because you know that I like to do that. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Jody Lynn, and we talk all about ways to age gracefully with a good skincare routine, SPF daily, and the help of beauty devices. I do a ton of beauty device reviews. Let's go ahead and get a little sciencey. Because the history is really fascinating. So there is a man that you need to know about. His name is Dr. Laurent Picard. He is essentially the godfather of copper peptides. Back in 1973, he discovered GHKCU, that's the technical name, in human plasma. He noticed that young people have high levels of this peptide in their blood, but as we age, those levels drop drastically. By the time we were 60, we have about 60% of it than we did when we were 20. That is like huge. So Dr. Picard's research found something incredible. When he reintroduced this peptide to older cells, he didn't just boost them, it actually reset their gene activity to a younger state. Dr. Picard found that GHKCU supports remodeling, or copper peptide, activates systems in the skin that break down large damaged clumping collagen. Think scar tissue or old stiff skin, and replaces it with fresh, organized baby collagen, which we all want. While retinol is the king of collagen, copper peptides are amazing at supporting elastin. Elastin is the spandex of your skin. It allows your skin to shrink wrap tightly around your bone structure. So if you are over 40 and dealing with hollowness, a copper peptide serum is what helps create that tight drum head feeling on the skin that disguises the lack of volume underneath. So there are 3 important things that you need to keep in mind. If you have Wilson's disease, this is very rare, but it is the most important medical contraindication. This is a genetic disorder where the body cannot properly filter and excrete copper, leading to the dangerous accumulation in the liver and brain. So if anyone has Wilson's disease or suspects that they do, then you should strictly avoid applying copper topically, as it can be absorbed possibly into the bloodstream. So you definitely want to ask a doctor about that if you have that type of disease. But also with copper peptide, the more is better personality doesn't work for this peptide. Okay, this is sometimes called the copper uglies. Some users report that after using especially very high strengths of copper peptides effectively for a while, their skin suddenly looks worse. It can look actually looser, crepey, or sagging. So copper peptides are remodelers that break down old collagen to build new collagen. If you use too much, too often, you might trigger an overdose of enzymes that break down protein. Essentially, you're breaking down the old house faster than you can build the new one, if that makes any sense. So what you want to do is find a copper peptide that you really love, and instead of slathering it on twice a day, less is actually more, okay? I say using them 3 to 4 nights a week is usually the sweet spot for most people. Definitely depends on the concentration. But if you've got something that is really potent, then I say go in from, about 3 to 5 times a week. So let's talk about some conflicts as well, because there's been a lot of debate. So this is a possible chemistry issue. The low pH of pure vitamin C, L-ascorbic acid, can actually destabilize the copper peptide, rendering it ineffective. There's been a lot of debate about this. There's some science that says yes, there's some science that says it's not a lot of information, but I always say be kind of conservative and don't use your copper peptide with your L-ascorbic acid just to be safe, to make sure, or wait a good 20 minutes before adding on your vitamin C. Now, I personally use my copper peptide in the evening. Okay, I would not also use it with strong exfoliating acids either because it can break the bond between the copper and the peptide, if that makes any sense. Use vitamin C in the morning and copper peptides at night, or alternate nights. That's kind of an easy way to do it too. Do not use this twice a day. Every day, treat it like a powerful medicine. 3 to 4 nights a week is the sweet spot, and never mix it in the same routine with pure L-ascorbic acid or exfoliating pads, okay? They just don't like each other. Now, I use a THD, which is tetrahexyl decyl ascorbate. That is my favorite vitamin C, and I have no issues with using the copper peptide. It is really just that pure vitamin C, the L-ascorbic acid, that you kind of really want to be a little bit more, leery of. So that's the vitamin C that we're talking about. So I hope that that makes sense. So don't get discouraged because you can't syringe fat into your cheeks in your bathroom, but focus your energy on what you can control. Build that collagen scaffold to hold everything up, and use ingredients like copper peptides to keep the pillowcase tight and snappy. That is the ultimate at-home strategy for a fuller looking face. And let us know, do you love Volufiline? Have you tried it? Do you like copper peptides? What are your thoughts on that? And then of course, if you have more advanced signs of aging, I definitely say make sure that you are also using a radiofrequency on this part of the face, because that is also going to help that spandex, the layer, the top layer of the skin kind of tighten, giving you a more fuller look as well. And then of course, if you're just like, I really need to go in, then go in, but make sure that you are finding a great practitioner and maybe use these techniques to help you so that you don't have to go in consistently all the time. That's something to keep in mind as well. So let me know if you have any questions, and if you do, please put them in the comments section. I try my best to get back to you. And if you like this video, go ahead and give it a like. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell so you do not miss my upcoming videos. Until next time.